Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we are reading from Relationship Advice. Our first post is by Warning Intelligent. My 37F partner 36M wants a paternity test, and I'm devastated. I 37F just had a beautiful daughter with my partner 36M last Tuesday. She is perfect and we absolutely adore her. My partner is so happy and was very supportive during pregnancy and labor. Everything was perfect, or so I thought. We have only been together for 18 months, and things moved quickly for us. We started living together after only 3 months, and have been inseparable since, even working in the same factory together until I went on maternity leave. My partner and I are both recovering addicts. I have 3 years and he has 2.5 years sober. We have completely turned our lives around and have the life I never thought possible. There has never been cheating on either side, but yes, there can be some jealousy issues. Now that you have some history, here's the problem. We came home from the hospital Friday, and I was exhausted, so he took the baby while I slept. When I wake up, he says, "You know I love you, right?" I immediately get worried that he says he wants a DNA test because he counted the days, and when I got pregnant, he was in jail. He is still on probation and was driving without a license. This is not true. I got pregnant 2 months after he got home, and the cherry on top is we were actively trying to have a baby. I'm absolutely devastated and automatically felt different about him. I was tired and emotional, so I just cried. He is saying he doesn't trust me, and I am angry now. We went yesterday to take the test and he paid $200. I'm not working and that's money we need. Our baby has jet black hair and he has blonde hair, blue eyes. Mine is dirty blonde. He says he just wants to be sure and has issues because of past relationships. I feel lost and unsure if I will ever feel the same about him. I don't have anyone to talk to about this because I am embarrassed, so I came here. Thank you for any advice. Sorry so long. Update: he is 99.99999% the father. I made another post. You can find it in my profile. Thank you everyone for all the advice and well wishes. Our next post is by Traditional Resist. I found out my wife, 36F, has a bank account that she's been keeping from me, 39M, to set the scene. I have been married to my wife for 10 years and we have 2 boys, 6 and 10. I work full-time and my wife is a stay-at-home mom. Our eldest boy is in school and our youngest is at home with her during the day. Financially we do okay. There's no issues putting food on the table and paying bills, but we're not going on an overseas holiday every year. Last night, I was looking at our joint bank account on the internet and I noticed an unexpected transfer, about $100, so not huge. I thought this was odd and looked through the transaction history and saw that there's quite a few transfers to this account. There doesn't appear to be a pattern to the frequency or amount. I confronted my wife, and she eventually admitted that she has a separate bank account that she hasn't told me about. I wasn't happy about this, but what got me real upset was that she refused to show me the account on the internet, as I wanted to see how much was in it and what purchases she has made. I called her a liar and untrustworthy, which I probably shouldn't have. I went to bed without talking to her again. I got up early this morning to go to the gym while she was still asleep, which is normal for a Saturday. I went through her wallet and found her bank card. On the way home from the gym, I went to an ATM and checked the balance. She uses the same PIN for everything. There was only a few $100s in the account. The ATM only provides the balance and doesn't show past transactions. This seemed to stack up because I would have noticed money missing from our joint account if she had saved up thousands. She also hasn't made any unexplained expensive purchases, no new jewelry or expensive clothes. Sometimes there would be something new in the house, like a pot plant or a new toy for the boys, which I didn't notice was purchased from our account, but I just figured she must have bought it as part of the grocery shop. What I can't work out is why she refused to show me the internet banking details. I feel like she's really trying to hide something, but I can't work out what it could possibly be. And I guess this is my main question to this group. Could it be that she simply prefers to have some independence, or could it be something more serious? Thanks everyone in advance for your comments. Delicious Life Zealot writes in the comments, "My wife was a stay-at-home mom for about 5 years. Since she had had several jobs and is now running her own successful business, we had a conversation a few months ago that opened my eyes. She said during her stay-at-home mom period, she felt she was financially controlled by me. She could not make any financial decisions on her own without my blessing. She also stated that she would never be comfortable being financially controlled by another person again. I didn't realize the resentment she harbored during that period of time." OP replies, "Thanks everyone for your responses. I haven't read them all, but there is a theme. Firstly, I will apologize to my wife and give her freedom financially and work on being controlling. For what it's worth, I never would have come to this conclusion without seeing all these posts. Some of you here are ruthless. I wrote this post at night and then went to bed. I then wake up to a lot of messages saying how I'm a coward for staying silent." Our next post is by Stock Magnificent. "Met a great girl, 36F, but she will not date me until my 41M divorce is finalized. I am going through a divorce. Paperwork is not signed as we are waiting for some medical issues to be cleared up first. She holds medical coverage and I have some issues being taken care of. Divorce is not messy and we are not using lawyers or anything like that. Simple sign with notary and over. I asked for the divorce and moved out in March of this year. I met a girl on Thursday at a meet and greet event. We hit it off immediately, went out Friday night and had a great time. Had plans for Saturday, but she canceled because she can't get past that I am not divorced and she wouldn't want this to happen to her. I can't sign paperwork to divorce officially due to the medical issues. She said to reach out when I was officially divorced. I really liked her and wanted to pursue her further. Should I let her go and move on? Should I ask her to be friends? We have a lot of common interests and I would enjoy doing these activities with her even if we weren't romantically involved. Would this be too weird? 41M and 36F, she has no kids, never married. I have one 10-year-old. Accomplished with rights. You are surprised that someone doesn't want to date a married man. Do you have any idea how often women hear we are getting divorce, just waiting on paperwork that never comes? Even if you are totally on the up and up, you are tied to your wife for an indeterminate amount of time. Also, what's your plan for health insurance after your divorce? You should do that now." Our next post is by Walrus Artist. "My 24M girlfriend, 22F, acted completely inappropriately while she was drunk, and I'm considering to end things. My girlfriend oftentimes goes out with her colleagues to club after work and stuff, and I've never had any problems with it, except that I've had one rule: no drinking to or near her limit. If she's with her family or her girlfriends, the rule doesn't apply because I trust that they will look after her. But not her colleagues, I don't really know them. And once she actually drank to her limit at an after-work party and I had to grab her from the train station, pretty much passed out on the train, walked her home, took 30 minutes and the walk is usually 12 minutes, but she kept throwing up along the way, cleaned her up at home, changed clothes, you know the drill. But then anyways, I set some ground rules after that day, and we called it. Fast forward to last night, she went out with her colleagues and I went out with a friend of mine. We planned that if we're done around the same time, I can probably go to her and we go home together. Now she texts me that she's not feeling good and she needs help, and at this point, I'm actually getting concerned and a bit bothered because we have that one rule, and she decided to go ahead and break it. I arrive at the club, and she comes out in a very happy mood. I was a bit confused. I thought she wasn't feeling good. But then I noticed that she was just very drunk and her moods were just swinging up and down. I tried to call an Uber home after that because the last buses and trains had already departed, and then suddenly the Uber starts taking a long time on finding a driver. I wait for a few minutes until she asks me what am I doing, I tell her, and she just completely flips, starts shouting at me in public, and storms off to the side. I keep waiting for the Uber app until I decide to use Bolt. By the time I put in our address, she's already looked up the route on Bolt and shows her phone to me and asks if she should order it. I instantly say yes, but then she flips again, saying, "What's the whole purpose of you being here if I have to order the taxi myself?" I don't say anything and just continue to order it on my phone. When the taxi arrived, she was still shouting at me and pushing until I told her to F off and stop pushing me. She storms off. I go after her, and I told her that we will talk about this once we get home. Let's just get into the taxi for now. During the ride home, I change my mind. I actually don't want to talk about this at home, because it's 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure she's going to shout and wake up the neighbors. So when we get home, she starts shouting and raising her voice at me in the hallway to our apartment. And then I just tell her that I don't want to talk about this now, and will do so when she's sober tomorrow. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that I have a lot of trauma from being raised by an alcoholic father, so I've told her in the past that I can't handle to argue or fight with a person that is drunk when I'm sober, because it brings up a lot of my past trauma from my childhood. But when she hears that I don't want to talk and argue about it right away that moment, she brings out her phone, smashes it at the ground as hard as she can, storms off into the streets. I go after her after picking her phone up and stuff, and start looking for her outside. I find her after a while, and when I do, she immediately lets out these very loud screams. I eventually get her inside, processing what the F just happened. And all the while, I'm trying to avoid talking to her. But she won't leave me alone, keeps insisting that we talk it out right that moment, despite the fact that I keep telling her I don't feel comfortable talking to her while she's that drunk and unstable. She starts blocking my ways and raising her voice. I repeatedly had to ask her to lower her voice because she would disturb the neighbors. This goes on for 30-40 minutes until she asks me if I'm considering a breakup. I said, "Not until you smashed your phone and let out those very loud screams." She asks me again, as if that was a not good enough answer, so I just say yes out of frustration. She started crying, and I felt very bad about it, so I immediately apologized. She went to bed after that, and I slept on the couch. I woke up this morning, still processing and wondering if I should end things or not, because I feel like I can't be with someone this unpredictable at this point. She's at work right now and won't be home until the evening, but I would like some advice on what I can do before settling on a breakup. I love her a lot, and we've built something beautiful over the last approximately 2 years, so I don't want to do something I would ultimately regret. Thanks. Edit. Just to clarify, she does not have addiction problem with alcohol. She does not consume it on regular basis, maybe once or twice a month at most. We have plenty of moments where we only consume a small portion. But she does, however, like most people her age, occasionally drinks a lot. I'm sorry if my writing made her seem like she's an alcoholic. That's my mistake. It did occur to me to clarify that further in my writing. Also, this is a first for her to react so violently. Fubar68 writes in the comments, "I broke up with her in my head in the 3rd paragraph. You should too." Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.